Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we're going to be doing an awesome deck profile of my Fortune Lady deck. Yes, Fortune Ladies, guys. This deck is really awesome. It's based off Carly Carmine's Fortune Lady deck, but it's kind of funny that recently we did a Red Dragon Archfiend deck profile on the channel, and now we are doing a Fortune Lady deck profile because if you ever watched the anime, you know the relationship that Jack and Carly kind of had in that anime. So without further ado, let's get into this deck profile. Fortune Lady's got some new support about a year ago, and I've profiled them a couple times on this channel. I'm just happy I picked up a lot of that stuff before it got expensive about a year ago. But I think everything is going back down in price. First up, we have our three Fortune Lady of Past. Fortune Lady of Past, I think, looks the most like evil Carly, the signer, from the anime. But this card is going to be your beater for the deck, quote-unquote, because of its level manipulation and ability to banish stuff and get big. The other important thing to keep about this card is that it is a level 1 Dark Tuner, which helps you go for things like BLs and other little cards like that, which is cool. So it's one of your main tuners for the deck that you're going to be playing around with and utilizing for different cool little plays, and is a staple 3 of in the deck. Next up, we run 3 Fortune Lady Light. Light is awesome. I'm so happy they reprinted this card as a super rare because, number one, it first off needed the reprint. A lot of the Fortune Ladies needed the reprint because they were just rares and commons that hadn't been reprinted since their original sets back in the 5Ds era. So they're a lot more available to get now. I had apparently, and because I've been picking bulk for years, had already picked up all the cards because I wanted to build the deck. But I'm so happy that they got reprinted for everybody to play and get easier access to. But Fortune Lady Light is a staple 3 of in the deck. It's pretty much kind of your special summoner tutor of the deck, because if you guys don't know what it does, I'll read it to you. When this face-up card leaves the field by card effect, you can special summon 1 Fortune Lady monster from your deck. So she is a level 1 light monster, and she's very easy to abuse and get off, but she's a staple 3 of in the deck because she's going to tutor out different things from your deck. Next we have 3 Fortune Lady Water, and Fortune Lady Water, it's debatable the ratio you want around this card. I've seen different players that play Fortune Ladies run her at different ratios. Some people like her as a 2 of because they feel she bricks. I understand that. Some people like it as a 3 of. It's kind of whatever you want to run it. But she's kind of your draw for Fortune Lady card for the deck in monster form, which is really nice. I think that she's as debatable as a 2 or 3 of. It's up to you to decide. I've seen some people who like running Fortune Lady Earth. They cut this down as a 2 of and run 1 Fortune Lady Earth. That's up to you to decide. I am not running Fortune Lady Earth because I find that it's a very situational card. But alas, I find that this card is really good as a 3 of. Next, I'm running 1 Fortune Lady Wind, which is going to help you get rid of spells and traps, which is really awesome. Your 1 Fortune Lady Fire, which is going to help you do some burn damage, which is awesome. And your 1 Fortune Lady of Darkness, which is kind of like your Colt Soldier Wolf Bark for the deck, quote-unquote. That's the best comparison I gave because you can bring Fortune Ladies back from your graveyard. So these are Fortune Ladies that a lot of people run in their decks, but they just run them as, you know, 1-ofs. I do see some people run Wind as a 2 of if they feel like they're running into more back row. That is an option. The Burn option is just good to have. It can help you out. And the Dark, if it was a level 4, I would say run more of it, but it's not. It's a level 5, so we only run it as a 1 of. So these are just 1 ofs I like to run in the deck. They work out pretty well. That's all for your Fortune Ladies. On to some tech options. I do like 2 Witchcrafter Golem Ari. This card, initially, I think a lot of people have cut this card out of the deck, but I still find it to be very useful. Not just as a big body you can drop on the field, but also to give you protection for your spellcasters. It's really nice to run in the Wind Witch deck, and it's up to you if you want to run it. It's a tech option. Depending upon how you're trying to build your Wind Witch deck, you can not run it or run it. I like it in the deck. It's been working out pretty well for me ever since I first started playing this deck. And depending upon the way you want to play this deck, you can run it or cut it for other cards. Maybe you're feeling in the mood that you want to run, you know, some more protection so you don't get negated, so you run maybe double tactics talents in your deck instead. That's perfectly awesome. Maybe you feel like you're going second and you want to run, you know, maybe a lightning storm and side these cards out. That's okay too. So there are different options you can run in this deck for those cards, but I like her in the deck because she has been very useful in giving me protection and also being useful for other plays as well. We do run, and she's kind of like a hand trap as well. I should mention that. She is sort of like a hand trap. Next, we run 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs in the deck. Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, you want to run some type of hand trap in this deck to negate your opponent from doing stuff. Some people prefer to run, especially if you're cutting the Aries out, you may run Infinite Impermanence instead. Maybe you want to run some other cards as well, but that's up to you to decide. Me personally, I'm just liking 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, and it's been working out pretty well for me. Great hand trap that's going to hurt most decks out there. Next, I run 3 Fortune Lady Calling. Fortune Lady Calling is really awesome. It's one of your staple 3-of Fortune Lady cards. I really do like the artwork of this card. Just because it has the tuner and it has Fortune Lady Dark, Fortune Lady Past on there as well. But she is staple 3-of. This is a staple 3-of in every Fortune Lady deck. Along with that, we are going to be running as a 3-of, guys, 3 Fortune Lady Vision. Vision, while it is a continuous spell, is still a staple 3-of. It is a great card to have for the deck overall. So these are staple 3-ofs, your Fortune Lady Vision and your Fortune Lady Calling. Especially if you've played this deck long enough, you understand the ratios, why, and what they do for combo plays, but they've been really great. Next, we run 2 Fortune Lady Future. Some Fortune Lady players like running this as a 3-of. I understand. It does take some setup, so that's why I've cut it from a 3-of to a 2-of over time. I used to run this card staple 3-of in this deck for a while because it was one of your main draw cards for your deck. However, it does take some setup, so I like it nowadays as a 2-of in the deck. It's worked out pretty well as a 2-of, and I'm probably going to keep it as 2-of for the foreseeable future. So 3 Fortune Lady Future. Next up, we run 3 Fortune Lady Visions. As you can see, I did pick up a lot of this stuff back in the day, so that's why everything is a higher rarity. So yeah, like I have 3 super rare Fortune Lady Visions. Happy about that. But this card is a staple 3-of. In addition to that, we do run the 1 obligatory terraforming as well, which is pretty staple. Visions is really essential. Some people, when initially this deck was being built, were running 2-of and 1-of Visions. Some people do like running Secret Village of the Spellcasters along with this, and if you're going to be doing that, running Secret Village of the Spellcasters along with your future Vision, I would suggest you run a Metaverse in your deck as well, because that can be very useful. But that's up to you to decide how you want to go down that tree and play around with your deck. For me personally, I just like Visions. There's no like stun I'm running with Secret Village of the Spellcasters. Again, you can play around with that and play around with different cards if you wish. But for me, Visions on its own has been doing good. Next up, we run a little Spellbook engine. So we're running 2 Spellbook of Knowledge and 2 Spellbook of Secrets. This is your mini Spellbook engine that works wonders in this deck, especially if you have dead Fortune Ladies on the field that you're not going to be utilizing for a lot. You can destroy it, you can tribute them off, get effects off, draw cards, search, it's easy to search things out with this. It's pretty good overall, and I really like it in the deck. So that's all for your kind of your packages you're running and your different ratios of spells. We do run some 1-ofs as well, which we'll talk about. I am running 1 Magicalized Fusion. This is a tech option I'm trying out in this deck currently. Magicalized Fusion is here to help you go into your Quintet Magician. It's an option play. It's something that you break glass in case of emergency. We're not running Verte and Anaconda just to go for Magicalized Fusion, because if you're going to go for Quintet Magician, you have to have the proper setup in Grave. And granted, you will be banishing stuff, you will be doing stuff, so it's not always going to be live, but it has come up fairly often to the point where I'm like, you know what, if I had a Magicalized Fusion, I'd use it right now. So, and you have the ability, because of all the different spellcaster types you have, to run it. So, you see where I'm going with this. It's something I've been trying out in the deck, play testing with it. I like it, I may cut it, but for right now I do like it in the deck as a 1-of. We also run 1 Call by the Grave. I want to stop my opponent from hand trapping me. Like I was discussing earlier, if you feel like you want to run more stuff to stop hand traps or at least get some advantage after being hand trapped, you know, run things like Tactics Talents, which is great to have if you have the option of having it. That's up to you. We are running 1 1-for-1 in the deck as well. This is pretty obligatory for your Fortune Lady of your past. Fortune Lady of Past and your Fortune Lady of Light. This is mainly in here for that. So 1-for-1's in here for these 2 cards pretty much. Next up, guys, we have lastly 2 other cards. We run 1 Upstart Goblin in your deck. I'll take these cards away now. Trying to zoom in for you guys today. So 1 Upstart Goblin and then 1 Monster Reborn. Upstart Goblin's pretty explanatory. Yes, you're giving your opponent 1,000, but it makes you have a 39 card deck. You're drawing cards. Might as well. It gives you more draw power for this deck on top of what you already have. And then Monster Reborn helps you reborn combo pieces and things that you can bring back to help go for link plays, synchro plays, etc. I like the card in this deck. It's been working out pretty well for me. So 1 Monster Reborn. So that is it for the spells. And lastly, we run 2 Fortune Lady Rewind. This card's really good. It's underrated, I feel like, to some degree. And I like it as a 2 of in this deck. I've seen some people run it as a 3 of. I'm not a big fan of that. But as a 2 of, I do like Fortune Lady Rewind in the deck. On to your extra deck, guys. So we run our card right here. And because I'm so zoomed in, guys, I'm going to have to zoom out just a bit for you guys for this because I didn't know I was so far zoomed in. You get to see all my surroundings. But let's get into this. Next, we run 2 Fortune Lady Every in the deck, guys. We run 1 Black Rose Dragon. Yes, I know we're running 5Ds Akiza cards in this deck, but Black Rose is good because in case of emergencies, you hit the Black Rose. Play. Next up, we run 1 Borreload Savage Dragon in the deck. Borreload's good because you do have a lot of link plays you may go for, and we'll have options to. And Savage play has come into play sometimes, so I do like Borreload Savage in this deck for that reason. It is an option. Same thing along with Arcanic Magician. It's a card that you're not always going to go for. It's not going to be a play you're always going to go for, but it's there as an option. Along with Biel's the Diabolical Dragon, guys, we run as a 1 of in this deck as well. I was alluding to this because Fortune Lady of Past, guys, like I was talking about, is a Dark Tuner, so that's nice to have. In case of emergencies, you can go for that. For your link plays, guys, let's get into that. We're running 1 Link Karibo, 1 IP Masquerena, 1 Phoenix, 1 Cerberus, and 1 Unicorn. These are your basic plays you'll be going for. I like Cerberus in this deck because sometimes you don't get big enough that you can get around a monster, so Cerberus is there to pop things. Phoenix for back row, Unicorn for spinning stuff, IP, you know, and Link Karibo just in case. But these other cards we run just in case too. So we run Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. This is an option play you can go for. Appaloosa, the Bow of Goddess, is something you will go for fairly often because of the versatility of all the different monsters you have on the field. And we also run Axis Code Talker as a 1 of. So these are your big ones. You can go into different ones depending upon the scenario, depending upon if you're playing game 2. Maybe you go for more of a control build. You go for Appaloosa. If you're going for Stun, you go for Goddess. If you're trying to break a board, you go for Talker. You get where I'm going here. And then lastly, we run the 1 Quintet Magician that we were just alluding to, guys, earlier as well. So I hope you guys all enjoy this deck profile. This is a super fun deck that I really enjoy playing with a lot, like I was talking about earlier. It is a fun deck. It is not super meta by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a viable deck that you can take to locals and have some fun with. I can promise you that, because nobody's going to know what you're doing because nobody plays Fortune Ladies. And if they do, they haven't played them in a while. So I love the deck for that. It's a fun deck to play with. So till next time, guys, take care. Have fun dueling. Good luck dueling to all of you. Remember to have fun dueling, guys. And then hope you guys all enjoy this Fortune Lady deck profile. If you did, remember to subscribe and like the video for more awesome videos on this channel. And I'll see all of you guys next time. Good luck dueling to all of you. Seto Kaiba out.